Also not that many PRs. Let's see. We already have a review from Jamie. Makes sense. I think we discussed this before. It's a breaking change, but I think it was due to an upstream change, right? Discussed before. Let's move on with this. Go Linz.
I remember. What was the status on this breaking change on harmonizing Terraform outputs?
I believe it had something
What
to
did
do
we,
with an upstream change. They just wanted to make it coherent
uh,
again. Yeah. I mean, there's no prefixes in here, right?
okay. So if it's required by CF deployment, then
Yeah, it's just matching the variable names with of CF
mm,
deployment. I mean,
it's
CF
fine. Okay.
deployment is the main consumer of Bubble, so I think it makes sense.
Mm, okay.
I mean, I think this is good. Just I don't know about this failing linter. Um, but this is not something being changed, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So it doesn't make sense to.
mm,
Oh, here it is. Unchanged files with check annotations beta. Yeah, but that's
uh,
weird to do. Random Golang files that were not changed in a diff. I mean, we're gonna just merge.
it would require to submit some change fixing that and rebase on top of the fixed
Yeah, but I'm like,
code. But yeah.
you cannot ask someone who just changes different lines to
Mm.
different files altogether, right? To fix the code base. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
So
All right. One
GitHub is
thing.
trying a thing, but it doesn't make sense. I'm assuming this one is still being discussed.
I had not refreshed the view.
Can I do that? Yes. Otherwise, we keep looking at it. That's not useful. Minimum permissions. Yes, yes. Changes approved. Aaron is okay with it. So here it's reading that file.
So it's a new requirement. Now you need to create a row in Google Cloud.
Oh, this is just no.
Correct.
This is a test to test the documentation basically
Oh, right.
to verify that our CI, the permissions we have in CI matches what we have documented as the minimum permissions.
Oh, nice.
I mean, makes sense. It's just bumping vendor stuff. I mean, this we have had in AWS for a while.
Sorry, you're
We
talking
had this
about
for
AWS?
AWS before. Yeah, we already had that. So this is just something
Oh, right.
expired
So,
from there.
good thing.
Yeah, so it tests that the service account matches the document permissions. Makes sense.
Great.
Yeah. Since we're only with 2 people, I thought we spend a bit more time and go over these changes. Get some stuff merged. Resolve conflicts. Ooh, what do we have here? I'm assuming we're gonna need this one.
Aren't you removing the old version? With the 1.5, it's the same.
This one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I get a preview? No.
Nice.
What do we have now in the Go mods file? Yeah, right. That's the change we want, and the rest is okay. Yeah.
The Golang API had been updated by some bot recently.
The what?
The Golang API version had been updated by a CI bot
Yes,
in the
on the
meantime,
main
yeah.
branch.
Makes sense. Good.
Ooh, this one.
NF table rules. It's the German spelling. Table. T-A-B-E-L.
This is the interesting one. Yeah, we're not gonna live review that one. But I mean, there's still reviews required, right? Yeah.
Why is there
Oh,
so many? Oh, yeah, that right. There are so many stuff in the vendor that have been updated.
Yeah, it's bringing in a whole new library.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but the code is oh, yeah, right. It's quite okay. Yeah, requires some attention indeed.
Okay, this one needs reviewers. This is experimental stuff also for Noble. For BPM. There are actually Noble stem cells, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. We have stem cell. Noble. Builds. This is the test, but this is the Google one. That one just works.
I don't see it. Yeah, I think we had this discussion about the fact I'm just seeing standard stuff on that CI.
Yeah, if you're not logged in. Are you in the stem cells group?
I guess I'm not.
Because there's like in the community we have two areas. What's it? Foundational. That one. And then we have not that one, this one. Your VM deployment lifecycle. That's it, right? So there's also stem cells. What's the AliCloud one? Stem cell release engineering. That's the area. So these are the people that have access to stem cell CI.
Okay. Okay. And could I be part of it, or should I need to submit a PR or raise?
Yeah, you need to submit a PR to get yourself added.
Okay.
But I think it makes sense to add a list of stem cells here, right? Let's assign people here, right? So ideally, people would deploy a Noble stem cell and get this test this with it.
Experimental support for SQL V2. The description is not so much descriptive. in BPM release. But cgroup v2 is just what you can find under unified, but mounted under this FS cgroup base the base one point. Is that correct?
Yeah, but it's different now, or we changed that on Noble, right? So we changed to unified. So the easiest way to test this would be to just spin a Noble stem cell, run a Noble stem cell, deploy it, and then deploy the release and see if it works. I think that's what has not been done yet. As in the test, I think Aram used the tests to validate things, not Noble stem cell itself. Azure, AWS, Google should be enough, right?
But I was trying to understand the idea of the change. I mean, there will be it's not, yeah. It's basically those lines 31, 32. I mean, 32 is present when you have a very classical unified tree, because under sysfsc group, you have the V1 in the first place. And under unified, you get V2. But when V2 is mounted in place, instead of V1 under sysfsc group, you can't tell for sure which one it is. So you must have a setting in your software to tell. I'm pretty sure this is V2.
That's this one, right?
And
this is using a library to determine that.
Okay. Great.
This is not or is this the same package?
Yeah, it's
from libcontainer, right?
Good. Pretty solid.
So it does an early return, basically. And then it accounts for some of the other things that are different.
Right. Yeah. So it's not a draft. It's an open one. All right.
I mean, it's a draft in the sense that it needs more testing and validation, but I believe the code. I don't know.
Is correct already?
It's probably already correct. So it's more like getting more eyes on it. So if you have an environment with that you can spin a Noble stem cell or run a Noble stem cell on, this would be a good opportunity to get some mileage.
Yeah.
Noble.
And some a good opportunity to spend some Google credits.
Yeah.
Okay,
this one is being reviewed.
I've been working hard very recently on running containerd with BPM, and it's quite a challenge.
Yeah.
No, but we can talk about.
Is it working?
I managed to do, yeah. I mean, if it's possible with, but we can talk about that later.
Because
if it's possible with for I mean, Garden is not doing it. Indeed, Garden has dropped. But I've tried to do it anyway. I just looked at Garden and said, they didn't manage to do it. Let's try anyway. It's working, but there's a lot to do. Privileged is not sufficient.
Yeah, but here, this is where I came across it here, right? So K3s is
Mm.
also using containerd, and here it said like they made a commit, disable it, and switch to just like init processes and don't bother.
Yes, because you must use a special environment variable that deactivate a test, a check from containerd, whether it is running inside a chroot environment. Otherwise, no. Well, no, sorry. In fact, you are forced to delegate to systemd the running of containerd. The thing is, how you manage to decide whether you run containerd with VPN in case you don't have a systemd, or you delegate to systemd. And then there's a second challenge. You delegate to systemd, that's fine. But what happens when the daemon stops? Then you would like to be notified. And I've been working on that two-way link. And it's quite working. So it's not very easy, but yeah, we can detail later on.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's very interesting.
Allow specifying deployment VMs managed. Optionally use what?
Looks like it's preventing a bug
Mm-hmm.
when a VM has many identities attached to it.
Makes sense. I'm small enough. So let's give it some time. Pending review.
The issue is very old.
Yours. 27th.
I'm wondering what it means to attach an identity to a VM in Azure context.
Isn't that like machine role type stuff, right? So you can use those credentials, but then you can have multiple sets.
It opens direct access to some APIs in the cloud.
Yeah, you can use
Yes.
those identities to authenticate with the Azure API itself, right? So if the CPI calls out, but then you have multiple, and they say that they use that so that they can, from one Concourse worker, manage multiple Azure projects or something, which makes sense. It's a bit of an advanced use case, but I can see how that works.
So you switch to issues, right?
Yep.
Docker CPI release. Whoa. Someone is using that? Oh, you guys are in your
Do we?
pipelines.
Oh, this is.
Oh no, Dennis Bell.
Dennis
Dennis,
Bell.
all right.
No tags. There's nothing here. Ugh, releases. Not even a tag, is there?
There's no CI pipeline. So
Is there a way to add a tag from here? Probably not.
it's so easy to miss a step when you
Yes.
publish new release versions manually.
We'll do that after the call. Wait, wait, this one I already had open here.
But yeah, it's pretty easy. I could give a hand here and add a pipeline, just a standard pipeline.
I mean, the probably the easiest thing to do here would just be use GitHub Actions. Because then we don't have to host it, right? Like, and everybody, like every maintainer will have access.
Do we have examples of
I don't know if we have
GitHub Actions for publishing new release versions?
No, but I would. I don't know if we do. But I think like the Garden, Docker, and the other one, the VirtualBox one, like those 3 CPIs, would probably be best to just manage here. But no hurry. I will just make the tag manually.
But yeah, with VirtualBox, the PR is draft, and I've not finished it.
Yeah, I know. This one. Yes, so I need to give access, like I should post the stem cells here. And we discussed this here.
With Noble, we would move the Bosch agent logs to barbicap syslog.
Is that true? I don't know.
It's what the description suggests. But it looks like it makes reference to some offline discussions you guys have had.
Let me find. Yeah, I had conversations with Ramon where he said that I should give Carson some noble stem cells. So that's what I'm doing here. I haven't read the rest of it, the context. They just go into the logs directory.
Yeah, so that would be barbicap syslog. And I guess that would be a good thing. I've always wondered why Bosch agent logs were in a different place.
Yeah. But I mean, this is Noble related. Did we add it to the issue? Noble.
It's logical errors, the 347 one.
I can edit. I'm assuming it was not there yet. Some discussion.
It's so much more open and than the previous stem cells lines. I mean, we can watch at the task list to get there
And
with Noble. It's
have you seen
fantastic.
this? Have you seen this? We are doing this now for all RFCs. So every RFC, we're creating an issue to track. So the cloud native build packs.
Uh-huh.
You can track its progress here.
It's really a good thing to invest on, to have chosen to invest on GitHub.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's much more
having,
community open.
Yeah, having a workflow around it helps. So yeah, like the overarching features that are the bigger overarching features that are being built, you can track this way. But that's it. I think we finished it.
Yeah, right.
I will go deal with the tag. Hey, wait, what's this? This was 9 minutes ago. Oh,
it's very new. Is Guillaume around here?
seems reasonable.
What would it mean? Ephemeral disk mount option discard?
Yeah, so like if files are deleted, to actually reclaim that space on the underlying block device. Right, so if you have thin provision disks, the thin provision means that you assign a size to it, but don't like allocate the underlying
all the space,
storage, all the space.
All the the non-allocated spaces is not
so
allocated.
if you have like written a file to it, then you apparently need to do an unmap to if that file is deleted in the OS, you also need to communicate that to the underlying underlying block device somehow, that space can be reclaimed.
All right, and Ethereum can do that,
But
but
also the
requires to be yeah.
the discard option in mount. That will also do it. And so if you have ephemeral disks with, for example, your, I don't know, container images or stuff or things that move around a lot, then this makes sense to free up space on your clusters.
And that would be in the cloud config. This new
I mean,
property.
it is cloud properties, right?
Right.
Cloud properties on your VM type, I'm assuming.
Or mount option. Do you have already mount option on anything? Oh, we do in env. Persistent disk mount options. All right. It's it's actually living. Whenever I come back to the documentation, there's always something new.
Yeah.
All right.
Where did you find it?
Indeed, just a little bit below. But it's the persistent disk mount options.
But
It's
is that CPI?
just no, it's not CPI. It's the cloud property, the cloud
So it's
instance
in
group block.
manifest, Bosch manifest.
Yeah, instance group v2 manifest.
Deployment config.
Yep.
Options.
So you go to instance group block. Yeah, this one. Here, the documentation doesn't list what's supported, which is sad.
It probably depends.
There's an example. It doesn't say if any mount option is accepted or if there is a list of.
I mean, it just passes it on to mount, right? So anything that mount accepts probably works. I mean, that makes sense.
Definitely.
Okay. Thanks for attending. And have a nice weekend.
Yeah. Okay. I would be happy to continue the discussion on the yeah. Can I share anything? On my screen. Desktop one. Yeah, so I'm working these days on a kubeadm provisioned Kubernetes through a Bush release, and it's quite a challenge because kubeadm is essentially imperative, so it's not converging really it's a command you run on the node to provision it once, and so it's quite not easy to fit that into
Why are
a
you
push
not
release
using the
workflow. But
K3s release that already exists? That's also from Orange.
That's right. But I'm not working for Orange.
No, I know that you're
I
not working for Orange. It's just like that at least exists, and we just reviewed an issue from someone from Orange. That's what I meant.
Yeah. No, in fact, I'm working on the KLS push release from uh, John. Well,
Okay.
I always forget his name, but yeah, James Hunt.
Yeah.
He is, but and this one is when I was trying to upgrade that, I realized that it was designed very much the same as what kubeadm does when it provisions. So I started studying kubeadm, and studying a thing, you can build a push release, so you learn a lot because you have to go in every detail.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the runtime, the runtime part. So it's a runtime based on containerd and runc. And the solution I have, so I've managed to get running containerd. It's not run by BPM, but it's based on BPM. I'm thinking for the future when we don't have Monit anymore. And when we must use BPM. So yeah, so I've ended up with
that's the
that
environment variable you were
wrapper.
talking about.
And yes, that's the one which is important, but it's not. It's just one part of the solution. This script just says if I don't have systemd, I'm executing this daemon, which is containerd and its config, very basic, or I delegate that to systemd. And the delegation is not straightforward. Yeah, you install basically the systemd service, and it's happens. Yeah, it's quite okay. Just I'm replacing some placeholder here because my unit file is actually a template. Where is yeah, exec start contains that. Yeah, and then it's so you must do that for one reason, and the only reason is that delegate yes. You must have that so that so that the C groups created by containerd are not messed up by systemd. Systemd is the only way to tell systemd, leave me alone with that. I want my part of it, and I'm managing here. And so then, yeah, I wanted to have, when this is stopping, I wanted to send a signal to that, because this one is actually staying there so that you can see in Monit that it's running. So this is, oh yeah, this is pretty much a trick for doing a pause, just like the pause container in Kubernetes. You know about that? In every Kubernetes pod, you have a pause container that runs so that it persists there to hold the networking configuration of the pod. So whenever an init container stops, you still have the pause container that holds the networking configuration. And so this is just a wait in a bash script that can be interrupted by any signal. So I've just chosen to answer the term signal when BPM says you have to stop. in that case, I'm telling systemd, please stop. I'm forwarding the stop to systemd and then exit cleanly. The interrupt is the reverse. The interrupt signal is when systemd stops, it sends me back a signal here so that I can stop here, and Monit is aware that the process has stopped. So in the service, I'm running a wrapper around the containerd. So it traps the temp signal and it outputs always an error, which is used by the unfailer trigger, because I wanted to use the exec stop pass, but I don't know why I didn't manage to have that work. So this is notifying another template unit file here that sends the interrupt signal back to the running BPM process. So the PID is chosen with that, and this is the configured. I mean, after the at, you can put a parameter, and the parameter comes here. It's containerd, and there is only one containerd PID in matched by that glob. So it gets the PID and sends it to appropriately with the kill.
This in
and that's
itself
how
would be enough to I don't know, make a nice or submit a nice talk for like the CFD, like the flight of
indeed.
paths. I mean, Ram is looking for submissions. I mean, this would be a great talk.
I guess so. Yeah, that's good.
Like just
yeah.
the ways, the patterns that you can use with like using systemd and BPM, like, and how to signal between those and Monit, like marrying process managers together, like let them all cooperate. I mean, that is quite an
It's
interesting
exciting.
talk. That's yeah, man.
And
I mean,
yeah.
these are great patterns. Would be good to have a proper talk about that.
And for Kubelet, in the first place, I've done a very basic thing, but I will refactor that to use the pattern I've just shown. So yeah, it's nice. It's pretty useful, and it's also a good way to go forward in the idea when we remove Monit, and possibly we delegate to systemd. How we do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks
And
for sharing.
I've also hit something. What was I've hit something we had discussed here in this meeting, but I don't remember. Anyway, I can always think twice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ping me when you remember.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah, that's right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.